Hello everyone. Let's say you just got a recent promotion. Till now at work you were an individual contributor. Now you're either a team leader or a manager or a C-suite executive. So what happens is when we are just in an individual contributor role, you're responsible for your own deliverables. You're responsible for your own setting your own expectations. Working with team members and accountable to just your boss. And your day-to-day activities are simply what you must get done in order to move the needle forward. But a team leader's role, a manager's role, and a C-suite executive's role is vastly different. You are responsible for so many things that are happening around the ecosystem of the company. Although you try to structure your day, it is impossible to avoid those circumstances and those things, situations that keep developing and evolving as your day progresses. So things might be dropped onto your table that was never a problem before. There might be new crisis at your table. There might be a HR crisis. There might be a communication crisis. There might be so many things that can lead you to completely divert from what you're doing and what you had planned for your day into some catastrophe management task. So what happens is, in all this, we forget to celebrate that we have landed this dream job of ours after so much of our effort that took into getting to where we are. We lose that perspective. We quickly get rid of that gratitude, and that gratitude is now filled with emotions like overwhelm, exhaustion, and just plain burnout. So, what do you do proactively in order to avoid these kind of situations? So, there are many different strategies that you can plan out in your collection bucket system, where you say 50% of my time is going to be allotted for structured work, something that I have to accomplish to move the needle forward in a positive direction for the company, and 50% of it is for any kind of developing situations that you haven't anticipated in a day to happen. So in that case, what happens is you have that rigor and you have that flexibility to also manage things as they unfold. So let's talk about three specific strategies that can bring us back onto the baseline of our calm and collected self to continue working and being productive. Okay, so I call these the three strategies for bringing us back from burnout to our baseline. Okay, the first thing is, please ensure that you have pockets of recalibration every top of the hour. Just sit, pause, literally take a couple of breaths and revisit where you are. What are the things that you are doing? Are you checking email? Are you frantically replying to somebody? Are you delegating something without much thought to somebody else? What are these tasks at your hand that you are doing? And what is the value proposition of what you are doing? So that recalibration of those 5 minutes will help you tremendously to try to reset that momentum and gather yourself for the next meeting or for the next hour to come. The second thing that you can do is, as I was talking about the collection bucket system, what you can do is there can be a cheat sheet where you can write down the top urgent things that you have to do and all those things that keep popping up in your head that you have to eventually get to. So I would call them the urgent bucket and the leisure bucket. Of course, this can be divided into your professional task list and your personal task list, because as you are working through a critical email, you might also remember that you have to buy milk or you have to add something to your shopping cart online. So those are also things that need to be taken care of. So this can be your collection bucket system. I would also suggest that you don't over engineer the whole task list thing, because it is simply for you to brain dump onto a sheet of paper so that it doesn't sit on your head using precious resources. So the third thing is, when you are about to wrap up for the night, okay, especially when you have to delineate the whole thing between what is professional, like when do you wrap up your work in the evening versus when do you want to wrap up your day for the evening with your family or just by yourself to just calm yourself down and slowly retire for the day. That is when you open your gratitude journal and talk about three things that went well for you today. Of course, I'm sure if the list was flipped, you will have 1,000 things for you to talk about of all the things that went in the opposite direction of what you wanted. But this journal is simply your gratitude journal because at the end of the day, you want that sense of accomplishment to kick in so that you can just call it a night. Because, if it was up to us, without sleep, we could just keep going because the task list will never end. But that is not how successful people get their work done and stay productive day after day after day. Sleep is our restorative method to continue to stay productive day in, day out. So, the top three things are recalibrating every top of the hour for 5 minutes. The second thing is throughout the day, whatever keeps popping in your head as the to do task list items, you can just keep dumping them with a sense of urgency or with a sense of leisureness, and you can just keep quickly noting them down so that they're not using precious resources in your head. The third thing is, as you call it a night, there is something called the gratitude journal. Don't even over engineer that. I just request you to please list down the top three things that went really well today. Maybe your child said that he has done extremely well in chorus or something. So just write those things down so that they give you a sense of accomplishment and a sense of joy, because of which you are here. So just think of all the things that have brought you here at this juncture in your life and celebrate. Good luck. Thank you.